Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back out in the bee yard and we're working on our series Stop Buying Bees. This is part 10, and 2 weeks ago we installed queen cells in my far left, your far right colony, the medium, the white medium, and this deep box here on the right. We do know that they emerged, but today we're going to go in and check them, see what they look like, and evaluate them. If they don't appear to be mated, we've had some bad weather and things like that, and it's got really chilly at night, below freezing. You know, they could have chilled or whatever. If they don't look like they're mated and fixing to start laying, or if they hadn't started laying, we're going to go ahead and take some more queen cells out of the incubator and go ahead and dispatch these queens and come back later and install some cells. So stay tuned and we'll get into these bees. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these bees have grown through the sealed brood that was that we had added to the split we made, and we do know it's got a queen in here. We just don't know what she's doing, and we're going to have some nice weather coming up. I know we'll probably get some feedback. Leave her alone a little longer, but we've got good cells in the incubator. The queens could have chilled. They may have tried to mate and couldn't find any drones. It's a little later in the season, so if they don't look good to us, we're going to go ahead and get rid of them and add more cells. That's the way we do it. It's not the way you have to do it, but it's what works for us. So I'm just opening this box, and what I want to do is I want to find my queen. We've still got pollen supplement on these bees and sugar syrup in the feeders for them. We want them really juiced up, and they accept queens better that way, and it just really helps. There is a small flow on right now, but nothing major. This frame here is full of food. But what I'm doing is I'm looking for my queen or any sign of laying queen. Another frame full of food. A few more, a little bit more cat brood still got to emerge out of here. No eggs yet that I've seen. Just mostly food. And there's my virgin queen walking around. She's slowed down, but see, she's still moving fast around the combs, and her abdomen hadn't really swelled up. She may have mated by now, or she may not have. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and get rid of her, and we're going to drop another cell in. So I'm just going to pick her up off the frame. I said I was. She escaped me. Now I won't be able to find her again, probably. I'm just looking for her again. And she may have flew. A lot of times they'll fly. And I'm checking these cells for eggs. I don't see any eggs. And the weather's supposed to be warmer at night for the next few days, and the next week the weather's going to be a lot better. So that'll be better for mating. And these cells are ready to emerge, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just looking for her again. And I don't see her, but a lot of times she'll fly off, then fly back into the box. And I'm just looking for the virgin again. And she may still be on that frame. I could have missed her. But a lot of times she'll fly off, then she'll fly back down into the box. Another good frame of food on this frame here. A bee emerging right there. Out of that cell right there. But right now I just want to see if I can find that virgin again. I should have just smushed her with my hive tool. It would have made it a lot easier. Don't see her on that frame. I'm going to go back to the frame we were originally on and just see if I can find her. And what I'm doing is I'm just using the light over my shoulder to make this a little easier to see down into the cells. And I don't see her on that frame. I'm going to come to this frame here, see if she came over to it. I don't see her there. She could have fell down into the box or anything. And this is the part that takes a while sometimes. It's a little windy out here today, but it's not cold. I still don't see her. And since I'm not seeing her on here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this colony up, let it settle down for a minute. And then I'll come back to it and we'll look for her again. And we'll go on to the next one. Okay, stay tuned, we'll be at the next one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're at this other colony. They're feeding, they're taking their syrup. They've grown a lot also. This was a problem colony that was a disaster, really. But we finally started getting it straightened out, I believe. The bees are growing. And we know they have a queen. We just don't know if she's mated yet or not. And they've really started eating their pollen supplement up, which is a good sign. Keep in mind, we had some cold weather that's gonna cause us some issues with our flow. We had a freeze and a frost, so it's gonna kill a lot of the blooms that were out there. I don't see anything really on that frame, so I'm just gonna set it to the side. I'm gonna come over. And what I'm looking for is any sign of eggs or a fat, swelled up abdomen on the queen that indicates that she may have mated, or if she's just still running around real fast and acting like a virgin queen. No eggs at this point that I see. And it is early to have a mated queen back, don't get me wrong, but my big concern was the weather. You know, and is there enough drones still? I mean, there may not be enough drones out there yet or not. We've seen some, but that doesn't mean that there's enough to populate. And we started this early. We mentioned that in the video that we had started it early. And that's okay. We can keep giving these colonies some brood if they need it or whatever. But we've got queen cells ready, so we're going to use them. No eggs yet that I see. I do see some drones, but that's from the brood we gave them. Don't see her on this frame. I don't see her on this frame either. And be our luck, she'll be out on a mating flight today and we won't be able to show you. Okay, here's our virgin queen. She's right here. She's walking a lot slower, but she's still moving really fast. So I'm gonna get rid of her. I know it's controversial and people are gonna say, oh no, why would you do that? Well, it's because we got brand new queen cells to go in. And I want this colony queen. We'll put the cells in later this evening. We have much better mating weather coming up, and we'll go from there. The queen should emerge in a day or so, and plenty of bees to keep them warm. Less rain, less cold temperatures. These queens could have chilled. They may have tried to mate and not been successful because of the drone population at the time. So it's a guessing game. I mean, you do what you want. If you've got a virgin queen and you want to wait 3 weeks, that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. It'd probably be better. But given the weather situation that we've had, we'd rather just go ahead and give them new cells that we know has been taken care of. We know they hadn't been chilled, and we know there's more drones out there now than there were 2 weeks ago. Just close this back up. Now they're queenless again. Look at that, a wasp on my arm. We're just gonna put some more feed on them. And we'll be back with you at that other one, see if we can find her. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we went back through this colony. I was still unable to find the virgin. We found her the first time. I tried to squish her, and I either squished her and she fell down or flew off, or she's in the box somewhere and we can't find her. But either way, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to give it a sale and let them work it out amongst themselves. They'll be more than happy to do that. So we're going to close this one up. And like I say, this one's growing, but I'm just not confident in the weather we've had in the past 2 weeks for her to have made it. And you know, it's still not a guarantee. And I've got fresh sales, good looking sales that actually look better than our first round. As the season progresses, bees are more inclined to make queen cells, and these look a lot better. So I'm going to use those. I know it'll be controversial. Some people just say leave them, and you can do that, and there's no problem with it. Worst case scenario, I mean, you can always recombine these and raise more queens and start over, but we're not going to have to do that. We're going to give this one a sale today, that one a sale, and that bottom box there a sale today, and give them a couple days to hatch, the weather to change a little bit, let them merge and go out on their mating flight when it's a better weather, and have better success that way. So stay tuned. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we waited about an hour to 2 hours. And we're going to come back in and we're going to give this colony a sale like we said. Cells look nice. We've got them in cell protectors. But they should be emerging tomorrow or the next day. So we're just going to open this colony up and give them a new sale. And like I said, if we didn't find that virgin, or she's not taken care of, they'll work it out amongst themselves. If not, worst case scenario, we'll have to come back and add another queen cell later on. But if we do, we can combine this one with another one until then and keep on pushing forward. I mentioned before we started early, and that's half of our problem. We're pushing these bees really hard, and it's not really a good time to be pushing these bees really hard because they don't have a lot of resources yet, and they're not really wanting to be pushed very hard. We're just trying to get a jump start on the season to make as many bees as possible, and sometimes that'll bite you in the rear end by doing that. So I'm going to take this cell and I'm going to stick it right in here up amongst some of this brood, being real gentle. I got it down low enough where they'll take care of that cell, and there's plenty of bees in this box to do that with. And keep it warm. Like I said, the temperatures are supposed to equal out a little better, and it should be better mating weather for the queens. It was windy and rainy and cold, and they didn't have much of a chance to fly over these past 2 weeks. And you know, that doesn't mean they wouldn't have come back mated, but we're trying to push harder and faster, and we had those cells anyway, so we're going to use them, and they look better than the first batch of cells we did. So I've learned a long time ago, you can't make a bee do anything. You can only capitalize on what they already want to do, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to help them capitalize on getting started here. I'm going to add the feed jar back. They tend to accept cells and queens better as you're feeding them. This is our little homemade incubator. It's nothing special. It's just staying warm with some bottles of water. Same thing with this colony. I'm just going to open it up. Shake those bees off. And since I know there's not a queen, I'm just going to take one frame out here. And I'm going to come to the center of my box. I'm going to take a queen cell. I'm just going to stick it into the center of the comb and its cell protector. Just like so. I'm going to close it up. If you notice, I put that pollen patty right over the top of where I feed them at, and that's to keep any excess syrup from dripping down on that cell. And we'll be right back with you. Okay, so this colony, the top portion is our queen right mother colony. It's over the double screen board. The bottom part was our cell builder. And what we're going to do is we're checking here, make sure our queen's not on here. She's marked with a bright yellow dot. She's not there. So I'm going to shake these bees down. Move this over. I'm going to take my feeder rim off. I'm going to move this pollen supplement over. I'm going to move this frame over. And I'm going to pull this frame right here. Well, actually I want this one. It's a little more centered in with the cluster of bees. I'm going to come over here to grab my last queen cell very gently. I'm just going to insert it. Right in here. I'm going to make sure there's not a lot of nectar and pollen, or mostly nectar going on, because I want her to be able to emerge. And I pushed her in, she's in her cell protector, and now I'm going to close it up. And we're just going to assemble it back the way it was. Check and put my pollen supplement back on top. As you can see, they've been eating it. I'm going to put this back on just because pollen supplement doesn't go good with the double screen boards we have. Put this on top. And I'm going to put my queen right portion back. Just like so. And we'll be right back with a recap.